Good morning or good afternoon, dear technical working group members and ESCAP colleagues. So thank you for joining us today, and also thank you for those who participated in a short consultation session on a draft plan of technical working group in 2022, which was held last Wednesday. It was only 5 of us there. So thank you for those who participated in that session. And I hope that you already had some time to go over the draft plan for 2022 activities, which Ms. Poor shared with us last week. And with that, I would like to introduce the aim of today's meeting. So, of course, um, we are here today to discuss about the draft plan for 2022, and UN ESCAP Secretariat will present the draft plan, and we would like to hear back from our distinguished technical working group members the proposed activities and of course agree on the plan. And at the end of this session, we will have a good country practice presentation on initiatives of disaster-related statistical framework implementation in Sri Lanka. So this time they have a very big group to present about their work. So before moving to today's meeting, I would like to briefly introduce the highlights from the previous meeting. And we had an opportunity to welcome our new vice chair from Statistics Indonesia, Ms. Nurma Midayanti, and new director of the Social Resilience Statistics of Indonesia. Then we had a briefing on disaster-related statistical framework e-learning updates by SIAP, as well as on the development of the internationally agreed standards on disaster-related statistics by interagency expert group, which will hold the second forum on producers and users of disaster-related statistics in August or September this year. Also, we had an overview of statistical review of the hazard definition and classification review by the Task Force on Measuring Hazards and Events and Disasters. So our last or 15th meeting was the first meeting convened in 2022 for this technical working group. So it was a good time to take a stock of our activities and accomplishment of the last years and to start to discuss this year's priorities. From these priorities, today we will look into the proposed 2022 plan and collect feedback from you again. So without any delay, I would like to start our today's meeting. And then, of course, our today's meeting consists of two sessions, and then we'll start with the presentation from the Secretariat. And the Secretariat will present the proposed technical working groups activities for 2022 in order to seek our comments, feedback, or suggestions. Therefore, I highly encourage our working group members to actively participate in this session and then provide your feedback and comments and suggestions. As said in the email from the Secretariat that it is our plan and it should be reflect our priorities and contain elements which can help us in our ongoing work to improve disaster-related statistics in our respective countries. So please, again, provide your comments, feedback, and suggestions. After the first session, as I said, we'll have a presentation from Sri Lanka. They will talk about how they implement disaster-related statistical framework in their country. Then we will wrap up our today's meeting. So that's the schedule for us for next 1.5 hours. So with your permission, I would like to invite Miss Ricky, who will moderate our first session. Ricky, over to you.
Thank you so much, Ariana, and thanks for the introduction, and especially also stressing how important it is that the planned activities for our group here are really, our plan, our collective plan. We function as a working group where, the focus of the efforts is really to share the experiences and expertise that's present among the members of the working group. So, this is a group to function as a help to ourselves, and making sure that the focus of our regular meetings really speak to the challenges each one of us have with implementing disaster-related statistics. And indeed, the basis for the proposed plan is primarily the inputs we received from all of you to the end of the year survey last year. Based on that, we put together a draft, which our chair has just explained, has also been discussed in a smaller group last week to prepare for the presentation today. So what I would like to do first is that we spend a little time for a proper introduction of the work plan. I hope many of you have already had a chance to look at the document, but what we've tried to do is to break it down a little bit and explain in more detail the basis for what it looks like, what is proposed, but also some comments on how we plan to actually implement it. So I am pleased to invite my colleague Piapat to present. Piapat, are you ready?
Yes, thank you, Ricky.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the screen here. So I hope you all can see.
Yes, we see
Yeah.
it. We see it. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Thank you. So my name is Pia Pada. As many of you may know, like I assist Rick and Secretariat team to prepare the work on the technical working group on disaster-related statistics. And as mentioned by our chair and Rick, that we're gonna go over a little bit on the plan that we prepare. So basically, this plan, like based on the priority survey for 2022, and yeah, in case some of you have not had a chance to look at, so yeah, this would be the time to look at it together. So basically, like we spent last year, like last year we came together to produce this 5-year strategic plan for the TWG, right? And we actually agree that like on the in 2021 it's going to be the year of identification, and basically like through the country sharing of experiences on disaster related statistics, we have opportunity to learn and identify the what kind of support is needed, like are needed by the TWG member. And for this year, we actually agree that we're going to move to demonstration, like basically the how. So the priority survey actually help us to understand more how on the topic that you would love to learn, like on how to implement things. So basically, like we moving from what to how. And here the result of the survey. So basically, like on we have actually 10 in the 10 ranking options in the survey, but we for efficiency we decide to do it for 5 of them. And the first one that we see here, we actually list agreeing on the priorities of technical capacity enhancement as the first priority. So basically, which is why we are here today. And the second one, we have the data standards that has a classification threshold, metadata, and so on. And the third in the rank is participation of e-learning. So many of you may have already participated in the Drsf e-learning, but some may have not. And the fourth one is the governance, actually the Drsf governance policy coordination mechanism. And the fifth is on the advanced e-learning with the focus topics. And besides priorities topic, like we also have some comment, like some of you like did suggest topics that you would love to learn more. So this includes derivation of SDG indicators, step-by-step compilation of DRSF tables, loss and damage calculation, so on, as you see on the list here, hazard mapping, coordination mechanism. So we actually, from this suggestion and from the priorities, the top 5 priorities, we combine them and we try to come up with this plan to like these topics that we hope we would like to propose that maybe our meetings this year could cover. And these topics actually they cover the main areas of statistics for disaster-related statistics. So basically, there are the occurrence statistics, the background statistics, impacts, and expenditure. And for each meeting, like we would try to cover, as listed here in the first meeting, like producing statistic on for disaster occurrence. So basically, it's going to be the hazard classification, hazard mapping. This is just ideas, and like we're open to more inputs if you feel like on this topic you would love to learn more about certain matters. So the second meeting we propose that is going to be on the background statistics, identifying the data needs for the background statistics on and exposure to hazards. And basically, like we could touch upon like the basic categories of disaggregate statistics, like in terms of gender, age, sex, and so on. The third meeting, we're moving into the impact statistics. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth actually is going to be mainly they're on the impact statistic, which we will focus on the human impact, direct material impacts, the direct material impact in monetary terms, and then on the impacts to agriculture and direct environmental impacts. And the last one is on the expenditure. The seventh meeting, we hope to cover the identification of data need for disaster risk reduction expenditure account, which I think this could be a topic that we might generate quite a bit of discussion as well, in my opinion, though. And basically, like with these topics, so it's list actually like in the plan that we sent out, the draft plan we sent out with the invitation. So we list it in the table form, and it actually align with the tables in the DRSF manual. Indeed, it's a little bit too small here, so I would recommend that like my colleague will later put the link into the chat so that you can see better. And this also include like if you see on the far right column, again, like it's not too clear here, but like on the far right columns, we try to ensure that the suggestion from members are addressed in each of the meetings. So we kind of map it out a little bit to show how each priorities are addressed by each topic of the meetings, proposed ones actually. And in the, sorry. All right, okay. Here, like we actually saw that we have two two priorities on the e-learning that came up. So before we are able to plan further, maybe we could try a little bit of poll with you who are with us here today. So Ian, could you please help with the first poll question? Okay, maybe I'll try. So, okay. Okay, there we go. So the first question we would like to ask you, and you can select, did you work with the expert group on disaster-related statistics to develop the DRSF manual? So basically, this expert group actually exists prior to our current existence here. They are the team that developed the DRSF manual that we are talking now. So for those of you who are here, maybe you if you could please answer whether you participate or work with the expert group. I'm not. Ying, are you able to see the result? I don't think I can see the result here. Oh, okay. I think I see. Okay, if you click view result, I think I can see it here. Right. So we have
now already 9 responses.
okay.
See it.
Lovely, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, so I have for now like 44% have worked with the expert group before. One did not, but my organization was involved, and the other 44% said no. All right. I think we have quite a number of people, so I would love to encourage you to put your submit your answer here so that we can decide work better. Okay. Right. Okay. So maybe we move to the second question. So as you may have seen, our colleague Soko present quite a bit, talk quite a bit about the e-learning. So have you participated in the CF's e-learning on DRSF? There is no right and wrong here. We just want to understand how we can best plan for our activities here. So please feel free to select. Okay, so we have. We have quite, and I mean for this, it could be in any language because as we know, the course itself has been translated into. We have English and in Bahasa, in Arabic, and in Russian, I think, and more coming. So yeah, so this means in any language. Okay, so we have 20% said yes, I have participated and complete the course. 60% said no, but I am aware that the course exists, and 20% said that never heard of no, I never heard of the course before. So interesting, but lovely to hear. Thank you very much. So okay, for the third question, okay. So the question is, which CAP e-learning course did you participate? But if you answer no in the previous question, you can just select I have not taken part in the course. But if you said yes, it would be great to learn if you attended facilitated course, or was it a self-paced course? Right. Okay. All right, so mostly, well, actually, all who participated in the course were actually they joined the facilitated ones. Okay, lovely. So the fourth question, please. The next question. So as you heard from our colleague Soko last time, then there will be another Drsf facilitated course this year. So we're asking you if you would be interested in. Oh, sorry, wrong order. This question is more on the how useful, like whether you would find the Drsf course useful for your colleagues in National Statistical Office or National Disaster Management agencies that are working on these topics. So basically, like for your colleagues, would these be relevant and useful? Great to hear. 100% said it would be useful. So thank you. But you can say no as well or not sure as well. Like we are open to any kind of comment for improvement, of course. Right. Okay. And the last question, please, Ing. Right. Okay. So the self-paced course that Soko mentioned during the last meeting. So if it's taking place again, would you be interested? Sorry, I think the question might be wrong here. It intend to ask whether you would love to join the facilitated course that would happen this year. Sorry, so please disregard the question. The question should be if you would love to participate in the course, a facilitated course, if it is to happen again this year. Okay. Sorry for some technical issue. Okay. This is how the question should read actually. Are you interested in joining the Drsf facilitated course to be held by SIA later this year? Yes, no, or not sure. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we have 88% said yes. So Soko, we have quite a bit of interest here. Right, okay. Lovely. So thank you very much for your response. It would be very useful for all of us here actually. So as we had a chance to hear from Soko last time, like the update on the e-learning. So last year in 2021 we held a facilitate training once, and actually like we had 101 graduates from the facilitated course, and we also offer the self-paced course on the CF e-learning website, which also have 115 learners who enroll for the course. So basically today we're gonna ask you like get your feedback how the secretariat could facilitate you like to participate in this Drsf course, like the invitation, the link, registration onto the learning website and so on. So it could be anything. So please feel free to now you can think about it and please share with us during the discussion time. And as for the second question, we will have the advanced e-learning course with thematic topic mentioned. So we would like to understand what topic would you like to learn more. But then again, like we have to assess with the availability of our resources as well. But somehow we would try to get the answer of this advanced e-learning and try to accommodate it in some form that would meet your needs basically. So I think that would be the end of my part. So I would hand the floor back to Rike. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kunpo. And Thanks all of you also for being active in giving some inputs to this live poll. What I want to just explain is the link between the poll on the e-learning and the work plan that Kun Pirpat, whom we call Paul here, as a nickname. So I'm sure you're all welcome to also use that name for Paul going forward, just to not be too confused. But you would have noticed in the presentation on the work plan that for each of the proposed meetings of our TWG, there was a direct link to one or more tables in the disaster-related statistics framework, and therefore there's also a one-to-one link between the topics covered in each meeting of the technical working group and the modules of the e-learning that's being offered by ESCAP. So this is the reason we thought it would be an idea to get some inputs in terms of the numbers of TWG members who've actually taken the course or would be interested in doing so. Because one of the ideas in terms of taking this work plan forward is to offer prior to each meeting of the TWG for each member of the technical working group to do a self-paced go through of the module or the modules of the e-learning course that is relevant to the upcoming meeting of the technical working group. Because if we do it like that, the TWG meetings could also function as a facilitated Q&A in reference to the learning materials that have been developed. So this is how the one thing is what's proposed for each TWG meeting, but another thing is, of course, well, how do we then go about organizing and implementing these meetings? And one of the ideas was this link to the e-learning modules. So thank you very much, Paul, for that presentation, and also for all your work in putting together the work plan. Very much appreciated. So what I would like to do now is to open up the floor for comments on the work plan. Any, reflections, any questions, any alternative suggestions are very much welcome. And I'm wondering, Kunpo, if you could just leave the slide where there is sort of a brief overview of the topics of each TWG meeting, so that we have that as a reference for this discussion. Can you go back to, it's the first or second slide? Yeah, this is the slide. I thought that would be a good background to have for the discussion here. It's outlined that the plan is to have 7 meetings, give and take, with us being in March already, and potentially a break in sort of towards the end of the year. 7 meetings if we continue to do a regularity of a monthly meeting, I think is the idea here. And you see here clearly meeting number 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 7 with the attached topics. Each one of these topics also relate to these top 5 priorities that Kunpo presented, which came back from you from that end of the year survey. So the floor is open for reactions, comments, questions. If you have any comments, please raise your electronic hand. Oh, we have Mr. Pucci. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Ricky and colleagues, greetings from Jakarta. I'm in a meeting here with my colleagues from other ministries and disaster management agencies and NSOs. We are starting the statistical data forum among ministries in several batches, as this is the first one. Anyway, going back to the topic, Ricky, first I would like to congratulate you and colleagues in ESCAP for making the transition from the orientation to a practical. I think it's really strategic and important one. And I've gone through the plan and really excited that it's happening. I guess what we could all need to think together is how to bring the experts. Maybe we could, get colleagues to raise their hand and, who could lead with session, as a principal, so that we can have a lot of time to prepare ourselves, in an interactive fashion. Maybe there are colleagues who are expert in expenditure, or even the Philippines, or this already started, right? We can map out like that. So I was wondering if meeting today could do actually that, and build the lineup of voluntary facilitators among ourselves. Thank you, Ricky.
Yeah, thanks so much, Pucci, and also thanks for commenting in this way that really underpins the fact that, the expert on this topic are in the TWG. And it is a matter of trying to find the best way where each of us can bring our respective expertise to the table here and contribute to the substantive discussions at the meetings. The idea that I had sort of in the back of my mind is to actually do a bit of a table so that we could map. And what I'm thinking of is, as you mentioned, having one column sort of for each meeting saying who could be the principal organizer, and then second or third comment on who could be resource people to bring in on the specific topic. And I figure what we could do, so you all have a chance also to discuss with colleagues and other experts you may know, is to circulate this table so everyone in their own time could put in your sort of tick marks on where it is you could play a role, and we could administer sort of this within the next week from now. Indeed, as you also say, Pucci, it's important that each one of us have time to prepare for the meeting where we have signed up to play an active role, either facilitating or providing some expert inputs, or sharing a concrete experience, for example, with actually producing one of the tables, for example. Yeah, thanks so much, Pucci, and thanks for joining. I'm very impressed with your multitasking skills. Okay, thanks so much for that input. It's indeed important that we also think in practical terms here. I see our chair has her hand up. Arjuna, please.
Yeah, thank you, Ricky. I just would like to continue Puji's idea is that in order to keep the members active, I would propose to use the Confluence platform as much as possible, because as you said that before the meeting, you are suggesting to us to do this self-paced e-learning for each topics, and then I would suggest to use Confluence platform for exchanging the ideas, or if we have some, some clarifications or some questions, we can put on this Confluence platform and then use it as a platform, working platform for our working group members. Yeah.
Thanks, Arjuna. Excellent idea, and it's. I mean, this is one of the main reasons this platform was really established to actually be able to have a discussion forum online. And I think this could be an excellent way of actually activating that Confluence platform properly. So great. I think we should take the opportunity for doing so. I think it's excellent. Thanks. Thanks very much for that. Good. So do we have anyone else who would like to react to the proposed work plan, including some of the proposed modalities we are just hearing now in terms of how to make it real and implement it? You are all very quiet, and oh, we have a comment. We have a hands up here from Sokol at SIAP. Sokol, please. I hope you were glad to see the responses to the poll. Still a lot of interest in the e-learning.
Yes, thank you, Rika. Yes, it was excellent to hear that there is still interest and an opportunity for us to continue our engagement in the learning aspect of the disaster-related statistics framework. I think from my side, more of a question slash comment. I think with all these presentations, there's also, and all these meetings, there's also an opportunity, I think, for us to have together a research agenda. So it's not just about solving, providing solutions to all the potential problems that are out there. We know that's not possible, but I think it would be also useful to hear of concrete research questions within these topics that would be useful to take forward with hopefully the expertise of TWG members. Some of those issues can be resolved in short order. It might be the case that there is expertise in one country versus others as well. So there's an opportunity for that as well. So I hope colleagues keep that in mind as well, that this could potentially be a venue for coming up with concrete research questions that need further work to be resolved as far as this goes. I know that obviously, as our chair mentioned in the summary, there's already ongoing work on the hazard classification, which would be very helpful to the work of countries in this space. But I'm sure there is plenty of other issues that are being worked on as well in the IAG, I know. So long story short, I guess it would be helpful for colleagues to also share some of the things that they would like the group to collectively think about and resolve. Thank you, Rika.
Great, Sokol. Thank you. And I think it's an important point also here, because a number of the issues listed in the work plan right now that is referred to in the disaster-related statistics framework are indeed still topics where, a real standard is still being, formulated and is not necessarily agreed. So indeed, there are elements, and quite a few elements of disaster-related statistics that is still under discussion. It's not all set in stone yet. And one of the objectives of our TWG is indeed to contribute to this standards development work. So I think this is an excellent suggestion. And this is also where there is a good opportunity to bring in some of our global partners and experts. And I'm happy to see that our new friend Kansa is also joining us today, who excellently presented last time on the hazard classifications. I mean, other topics that are currently being researched and discussed are the priority topics of the global interagency and expert group, where I'm right now looking at issues papers on disaster risk reduction expenditure satellite accounts, for example, where we've had an expert who's developed a paper. Another issue is disaster-related statistics on environmental and ecosystem-related losses. And of course, we have the never-ending issue on how to best measure and calculate economic losses from disasters, which is a long-standing topic where there are many views on how that is best done. We hear also in the feedback of the survey in this TWG that the interest on disaster loss and damage calculation is also still strong. It's something everyone has to do on a regular basis, and there's just a flurry of different approaches out there for that. So yes, we should definitely build this in, because it's an opportunity for us to influence the global framework that's under development, but also, of course, attract the relevant experts also, so that we can include and continue to include resource persons from our respective, international networks, also to enrich our discussions in this TWG. Thank you very much. So-called, that is indeed noted. Yeah. I mean, I'm taking all the constructive suggestions here and the lack of electronic hands up as an agreement by the TWG that this is actually a plan that we agree on. Is that correct? It's now or never to protest, yeah? Okay, that's excellent. That's excellent. So I think that what we'll, I've taken note of all the good suggestions, and definitely an immediate next step is to get all your inputs from, in terms of where you see, which of these meetings do you see you have a national experience to share, or have either yourself or a colleague with expertise to share. Are there any of the topics where you would like, for example, to be the overall or primary facilitator, etc. But we'll put together a little table that we will circulate. We'll make use of our Confluence platform also for that exercise. And we will also internally in ESCAP, between the Statistics Division and SIAP, figure out how we can organize and integrate the e-learning modules in the best way, so that it's as easy as possible for all of us, so that we can start each of the TWG meetings where we know that everyone, is aware of what is the topic that's discussed, what are the already existing standards and recommendations in terms of producing the relevant statistics, so that we can really focus the meetings on the discussions on where, for example, standards are still not quite there, get inputs on, what would be a recommended way, how have different people overcome certain obstacles. It's very much so that even if the standard is clear on how to do things, once we have to do it in practical terms, a whole range of other questions come up. This is why we continuously discuss governance so much, because it's about institutional collaboration, data sharing. How do you get access? Do you need to get agreements with different agencies? There's a lot of practical things also surrounding statistics, even when we have, let's say, the theoretical framework in place. So thanks again, all of you, for your attention and for the really excellent and very constructive comments on how we can put this work plan, how it can take off and be implemented during the year. So with that, I want to thank my colleague again, Kun Po, for her preparations for this, and hand it back to our chair. Ariana, please.
Thank you, Ricky, and thank you, our UNESCAP colleagues, Ricky, Paul, for a very interactive session. And thank you for the comments thank you, Sokol and then Puji, for your comments, valuable comments on that session. Even our working group members didn't, provide their feedback or comments personally. I would like to thank all the members that actively participating in really live poll. And then from the feedback, from the response of the poll, I could say that we all acknowledge that this disaster-related statistical framework e-learning is would be really useful or would be really beneficial for all of our members. So thank you all for participating in the poll, providing your feedback on that. So again, I highly encourage our working group members to do this self-placed e-learning course before each technical working group meeting. And then please use the Confluence platform as much as possible for sharing ideas and use it as a working online platform for TWG. So now I would like to invite our colleague from SIAP, Mr. Sokol, to moderate our next session. Mr. Sokol, floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and good afternoon from me again, colleagues. It's a pleasure to be with you during this 16th meeting of the TWG. As the chair mentioned during her initial remarks, and other colleagues as well, we have the pleasure today of having colleagues from Sri Lanka join us to make a presentation about the work that they have done in initiating the implementation of the disaster-related statistics framework for their country. We are happy to actually have colleagues not only from the Statistics Office, but also from the ministry responsible for disaster management in Sri Lanka. So right away, we get a sense of the coordination that is already happening in the country. Without further ado, let me just introduce the colleagues in Sri Lanka who will do this presentation. I would like to encourage you that to type any questions that you might have for the colleagues in the chat box. We will have a good 15 minutes after the presentation to have some discussion on what has been presented. So feel free to type your questions into the chat box. So we have a team of 4 colleagues who have prepared this presentation. And apologies in advance if I mispronounce your name. So we have Ranjith Wera Sekkara, who is a statistical officer at the Ministry of Internal Security, Internal Affairs, and Disaster Management in Sri Lanka, as well as 3 colleagues from the Department of Statistics and Census in Sri Lanka. In particular, we have Anoya Senavirate, who's an additional Director General. We have MLAP Guna Sekara, who is a senior statistician, and SK Priyangika, who is a statistician working on this topic. Again, I apologize for mispronouncing your names. I'm sure I did not pronounce it right. Colleagues, the floor is yours. Please proceed with your presentation.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, Mr. Sokol, and good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Actually, hello. Hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, colleagues. Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Ranjit. Colleagues, if you can mute yourself if you are not speaking, that would be great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Chair and Mr. Sokol, and good evening, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank the chair and the members of the technical committee to giving this opportunity to Sri Lanka to share the current activities and the knowledge with the other countries and the members of the technical working group related to disaster related activities. Actually, this is the this can be considered an extension of the presentation which I did for the fourth technical working group meeting. The already next slide, please. Already DCS has established the take so many initiations to implement the disaster-related statistical framework in Sri Lanka. Actually, the first we department arranged the establishment institutional structure. Under that, the establishment of disaster-related statistic unit affiliated with the cartography division of the Department of Census and Statistics. Then establishment of environmental statistics units affiliated with the agriculture statistic divisions, and the establishment of statistical unit in the Ministry of Disaster Management, and attached to the technical officer from the census department, actually it's me. And then we further go ahead then make the capacity development program. Under that, we did awareness of higher levels of the Department of Census and Statistics, high-level officers of the Department of Census and Statistics regarding the disaster-related statistical frame, and get support, their full support to implement this process, implement this program. And then we did the most recently we did the district officers and field officers of the DCS and the Disaster Management Center, National Disaster Relief Service Center, National Building Research Organization, the responsible block for the landslide section, the Meteorological Department, and ICTA, Information Communication Technology Agency, actually regarding the disaster-related statistical framework, to get support them with the collaboration of World Food Program, ESCAP, AP, CICT, Virtual Academy, and the AIT in Thailand. Please, next slide. Next slide, please. And after that program, our new the recent achievement is we completed the GN level. GN means our the lowest official administrative level. We have the provincial, the national level, provincial level, district level, divisional secretariat level, and Grama Niladhari level. It's the lowest level, and then census block level. We first prepared the GN, Grama Niladhari level information database. Now it is completed, and we publish it's in the internet, and anyone who like to that data, anyone who can download that data from the internet, using our official census department website. And under this database, we prepared the hard copy, district level hard copy, and the geo database for under this database. You can see the content. Actually, the its content is the we take separate sections, basic information of the Grama Niladhari division, and then the important thing is we collect the information of the basic facilities, transport, health, education, communication facilities, and the facilities by local authority, local government given to the general public, and other facilities likewise. And you can see the under 5 content, under 5 question, we collect the data the last 5 years occurred disaster in this GN division, wise. And after that we collect the major economic activities data, abundance resources and reservoirs of the irrigations related to irrigations, and information of the place of basic facility, and information of government beneficiaries likewise. And already this is completed database, and we can use this data for analysis for the disaster, and we can identify separately what GN division, what DS division, and what are the most vulnerable and exposed GN division for the disaster. Quickly we can identify it using this database. And also we can identify it is single disaster, multiple disaster. Next slide, please. Then you can see the disaster faced in last 10 years. Under this table, you can understand the district level occurrence type. The above number type of disaster number is number 1 is flood, number 2 is landslide. Likewise, you can understand the legend is keep the down, and you can understand district levels, DS level, and the GL level using this type of table. And also you can categorize what are the single hazard Grama Niladhari divisions and the multi-hazard Grama Niladhari divisions, and the government officers and the other stakeholders can use this data for their DRR activities and the development activities and disaster management activities. And the second table, the availability of the basic facilities, you can see the transport sector, health sector, education sector, communication sector, and facilitated by the local facilities provided by the local governments and other facilities. Under the transport sector, public transport, railway transport, three-wheel parks, boat service, likewise, a lot of data collected by this database. And health sector, we can identify the government private hospital, private dispensary, military clinic, baby clinic, MOH office, likewise. What are the places that are placed in the what GN division, and education? What are the major schools, A level, advanced level, and ordinary level schools, and kindergarten, preschool, likewise. And we under this category we can identify the vulnerability and the strength, vulnerability and the strength of to mitigate the disaster risk. And the communication facilities facilitated provided by local governments, actually the public playgrounds, children parks, public library, reading room, cemetery, market spaces, fairs, public store, likewise data. And the other government and private banks, filling stations, police stations, district secretariat office, local government office, likewise, a lot of data collected by under this database. Next slide, please. Next slide. Right. Now you can see in this slide this is the 2011 census pre-listing form. This time we use very basic tools for that census, because just after the 30th year civil law, 2011 we did the full enumeration in the country. At that time we did not have sufficient time to go for the new technology, and we use very basic technology. But you can see the left side maps manually prepared and make the census blocks for collecting the data. And the right side you can see within that census block we manually put the housing unit places, and we name and get all the information manually. But we do not let to remove give up the basic principles, the omissions and the double counting concepts. Next slide, please. This is the pre-listing form that I explained earlier, and you can see this district, what the district and district code, division secretariat division and its code, Gramanidar division and its codes, and a lot of things are here. This is the basic information, and how many housing units, how many families. Likewise, you can get a lot of information in the first page. Please, next slide. And then you can see this is the inside of that pre-listing form. The first column is serial number, then head of the household, then head of the household and his address, members of the family, and then the relationship of the head of the household, and likewise, and their economic activities. Likewise, this is the pre-2011 census pre-listing form. And next slide, please. Next. Click next. All right. The scan under this this is for the preparation of new census block digital map using GIS technology. This is for the population and housing census doing in this year 2020 general census. The first we scanned all the drone maps by GN division maps we scanned, and then please next. And the next time we downloaded all the satellite images covering entire country. Next, please. And then created the digital map in the cartography division, including geographic features considerably. All these three steps we use to convert that 2011 the sketch map converted into digital maps by using GIS technology. The next one. Now you can see the verification level of the these digital maps. After we scanned and overlay with the Google Maps, we go to the boundaries, were checked and corrected, then certified. The geographical features were checked, corrected, then identified clearly what are the proper boundaries and what are the benchmark and the important places with that Gramanidar division. And next slide, please. After that, we demarcate the census block. You know, the upper one is the definitions, small area. We decided to division as a census block. You can see the down. The blocks were demarcated considering number of census units and easy access to the blocks. The urban area, the 120 housing units includes one census block. In the rural area, 80 to 100 units. Rural estate, 80 to 100 housing units, and estate urban area includes 80 to 108 census blocks. Next slide, please. And after that division of this census blocks, next time we go to the field to measure to increase the accuracy of this map. The tested partially satellite images map in these are the sample testings actually. The Gonapi Inwala Divisional Secretariat divisions in the Goal districts and conducted the pre-test using all documents and maps in the Kalani and Horana Divisional Secretariat divisions in the Gampa and Kalutara district respectively. Then after that, the given 3 to 6 months for checking 6 months for the field officers to check in the Gramanildari division boundaries and demarcating census blocks for improving accuracy level of the maps. Next slide, please. After completing that work, we check with the this is the prepared by the local language actually. So I will explain it. After preparing the census block and field checking, we again in the cartography division we check these maps and the Google Maps with benchmark to verify the accuracy of this map. Next one, please. This is that situation, the format of the uncleared Gramanildari boundaries. The check with the check with the cartography division of the census department and verified all these things. Right. Okay. Next one. Next one, please. Okay. After completion of that field works, this is the final products of the census block. You can see the left side, the completed the accuracy completed census block with the accuracy demarcations, and you can see every census block has a unique given the unique code number. According to that, you can identify the any area uniquely any area of the country using this code number. It includes the first 2 digit is provincial code, the second 2 digit is district code, the third 3 digit is DS division, DS division code, district secretariat code, and other last 3 digit is census block code. And you can see the right side, the pre-listing form. It's actually in the local language, but I will explain in English. You can under by using this census block, we use this questionnaire for collect the data to fill this database. Under this form, the first we identify the identification information, then the information of the relevant officers of that area, then and after that, this is the important thing is, according to this questionnaire, we collect the basic questionnaire, we collect the basic infrastructure and the health educational sector information also under this questionnaire. And also we collect the disaster related data under this information, because we ask one question in this questionnaire: the last 5 years, what are the disaster faced in your house in you. Actually, this database is taken by housing units. This is the pre-listing form for 2022 census form. After the completing this census block, we enumerators go to one by one houses and collect their information collect by information according to the housing units, and after that the completing that pre-listing form, we can understand what houses in the census block faced what type of disaster during the past 10 years. That is the very important things for this database. Please, next slide, please. The last after the compile doing all the things, we can see this is the picture of our last database. Actually, the pre-listing and some activities are already done by the DCS, and we have to go to the field and collect the next fill in the next, go to the next step. Then you can see the left side, the final census block completed. Then the next one is the our geo database, and the right down picture you can see the census how census block unit, and we get the housing unit information by XY coordinates. Actually, this is the shape point shape pipe, and we can link this shape coordinates with the census block and after the completion of this database, identify the real area has an exposed area, and we can identify the house type and the living condition of that housing unit family members, and the other economic activities, and what are the loss and damage, everything by using this database. Next slide, please. Actually, our next way forward is plan to make this type of database for the GN level. It's been actually it's been discussing further. This is not completed, and the other one is we are developing questionnaire to collect the disaster related statistic according to the disaster related statistical framework formats. Thank you very much, and would like to give the floor to the chair. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ranjit, for that presentation. I think it was quite informative, and congratulations as well on all the progress and achievement that has happened. I think it was quite impressive to see the 2011 census and then the 2022 census, the digitalization that has happened, and how you're utilizing all these modern tools in developing disaster-related statistics. I think one point from my side that I would just as maybe a summary. I think the integration that you hinted at throughout the presentation was quite important. Obviously, being able to collect data once and use it for multiple purposes. So you're going to use this database from the census to inform all these other facets of disaster-related statistics, which is quite important, and I think the usability of it obviously is exponentially greater now that it's digitalized and available to colleagues to use. We have about 7-8 minutes on this, and again, thank you very much for your presentation. We have a couple of questions already. in the chat. The first one is about the data collection, and in particular, do you collect any data on displacements and evacuations that happen due to disasters? So, is that part of the collection? Maybe that is a question that you include on the census form that you mentioned. What is the collection on that?
Yeah, actually, the first we collect the in the pre-listing stage, we collect the basic information of the housing unit, and then the census stage we get the detailed information. This is the pre-listing stage. We the first pre-listing stage data also we link with the geodatabase and the coordinates, and then the census period we go to the again we visit that house unit and get the more details regarding their the population, demography, housing, and the disaster related information we collected. Under that we get the their loss and damages and death and the missing family members and other relevant information collected.
Very good. Thank you very much. The next question is about data sharing. So what is the data sharing mechanism used by your institution to share data with among the various data holders in this space?
Actually, already we have shared some data with the other stakeholders, but DCS has act to prevent some block some provisions. These days, the DG of the Census Department and other agencies discussing how to how to make corrections and how to make legal provisions to the share the data with the other organizations and how to protect the sensitive data and how to protect the security data likewise, and how to share the other data with other important data with other organizations. It is being discussing with the other organizations actually.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And as put in the chat, if other colleagues have any additional questions, please feel free to type them. I think one question from me is, obviously this is a big undertaking. As far as the resources are concerned, can you please tell us a little bit more about one sort of is the funding coming from internal resources, or was there support from outside of Sri Lanka, as well as some of the expertise that was needed that what you think was necessary to pull this all together?
Actually, the first presentation I also asked we need the technical support and some consultancy regarding this is preparing this database and data integration. Actually, we need a lot of technical support from the ESCAPs and the technical working group members, and also we want to share the other knowledges of the other the good practices, share good practices, practice countries like Indonesia, Bangladesh, India. Likewise, we will. It is very important to us to get the knowledge and improve our disaster-related statistic activities. We need it.
That's very good. Yep. Thank you for that. And I think this obviously working group is the perfect venue to have this collaboration and sharing of experience. And I think, again, it was quite impressive to hear of the progress made from the 2011 census to the current census. One last question. When do you expect some of the results from the 2022 census to be published and shared with people in Sri Lanka and more broadly? Is there sort of a major milestone coming up soon that we can look forward to on results?
Sorry, explain again.
So
Sorry?
when will the census results become public from the 2022 census? Do you know, or is it still too early to tell?
Yes, but the plan is quickly, actually, within 6 months, 12 months. But this is the pandemic situation, and we are struggling with the pandemic situation. That is the main problem, and we have to do something to end. This is actually early to tell. We will hope within 1 year and 1.5 years public all the after the census, all the data to the public to use their activities, this data.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I think that's a very good point on the pandemic, especially with a census, and you cannot have as much field work as might be necessary with the census, and hopefully some of these modern tools that you mentioned can help with that. I think we're right on time. Mr. Ranjit, thank you so very much again. It was excellent to hear from you on the progress made, and I think everybody here enjoyed seeing the work that you have done. I wish you best of luck, and we very much look forward to having you here again, maybe in 6 months, maybe in a year, once you have more of the results to show and share your experience. I think it would be excellent to hear. So with that, let me close this session and pass it over to our chair. Madam Chair, the floor over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Sokol, and thank you, Mr. Ranjit, for making this session very rich and informative. Thank you very much. So now, as Mr. Sokol said, that now we are close to the end of today's meeting, and I would like to thank our speakers, moderators, and members for active participation, excellent work you did for today. So let me wrap up quickly today's meeting. So today we had a very rich, a very active session and some discussion on the plan for 2022, and our members were very active for participating in the poll. So I'm really looking forward more comments and feedback on the draft plan for 2022. And then we have a brilliant and rich and very informative presentation from Sri Lanka on the implementation of the disaster-related statistical framework, and then also some disaster-related statistics in Sri Lanka. So I'm really hoping that our members learned from Sri Lanka's experience. And that's all for today. Before closing the meeting, I would like to ask our colleagues from ESCAP if there is any announcement or any other housekeeping issues before ending today's meeting. Ms. Paul or Ricky, do you have anything before we are closing?
No, I think everything is clear from our side. I mean, we have a few notes, of course, in terms of following up to the work plan, and we'll take care of that. And I just want to thank our colleagues from Sri Lanka also for the excellent presentation and for all the engagement by members of the TWG today. Yeah, thanks, Arjuna.
Yeah, thank you, Ricky. So if there are none, before I declare this meeting closed, I would like to let you know that our next meeting is scheduled on Wednesday, as usual, 27th of April, the same old time at 2 p.m. Bangkok time. And then with this, I would like to close this technical working group meeting for today. And thank you all for your time, for joining us today. See you next month. Stay safe.